Well, welcome everybody. This is Oxford University Press, which you already know. I'm Jeff Shoup. I'm a regional sales manager for the eastern part of the US and Canada. This is my colleague David.
David Hayden. I'm the regional sales manager for the Central and South region of North America.
And we're going to tag team this a little bit. I'm going to do the first half, and then David's going to take the second half. Innovating for the Future, serious sounding title, but I mean, a lot of what we're talking about is things that are brand new or coming down the road. We'll move on. The first part's going to be some product highlights. So, talk a little bit about Oxford Bibliographies. And there are QR codes on the screen, so if you want a little bit more information, you can take a picture of the QR code. It will get you to the site or to an About page that will tell you a little bit more. But Oxford Bibliographies, for those who aren't familiar with it, are annotated and curated bibliographies written by experts in the field. They're curated, so they're not giving you everything under the sun in a particular discipline. They're trying to give you what that author feels like are the best resources in a subject area. And they're annotated, so they tell you why you should read them. Read this book before the second book because the second book refutes the first book, those kinds of things. So we have 46 subjects now. We've added 3 just this year. History of medicine, food studies, environmental history. Food studies, we also have a Oxford Research Encyclopedia on food studies. So if you're familiar with those are long form research articles about particular subject areas. That just happens to be, we have one in food studies that complements the one, the Oxford Bibliography in food studies as well. We've also created 2 history bibliographies this year, history of medicine, environmental history. In the past, typically we've created history bibliographies that kind of have genealogical, time periods that they cover, or they have geographical areas that they're covering. But this is more of a subject-based history, and this is something we're trying to do a little bit more of. So history of medicine explores nursing, disability surgery, drugs, pharmaceuticals, etc. Environmental history explores environmentalism, climate change, agriculture, capitalism. So it touches on a wide variety of bits and pieces of that history. Another new product for us is Oxford Intersections. We just started this about a year ago. Oxford Intersections are interdisciplinary works that are original research. They will eventually contain 300 peer-reviewed articles per intersection. We have several topics, and these are emergent topics that we want to publish in. You'll see the first few that we published: AI and society, racism by context, social media in society and culture, very topical, current kinds of topics. Borders is coming out this month, and it's we're very excited about it. I'll read to you a little bit from the description of the Borders intersection. We have 2 general editors, one from the University of Kansas, Alexander Diener, and one from University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point is Joshua Hagan. The borders are specific sites, but they are not static, being constantly enacted and reproduced. They often have a physical presence, but their significance stretches far beyond any geographical locale and into the social, political, and cultural lives of those both near and far from the border itself. This intersection will focus not only on borders as interstitial spaces, but on the ways that a bordered world has its effects, with particular attention to systems, relationships, and practices that span borders. So, coming soon. I'm not sure what the exact date is this month, but we'll be out before the end of the month. And the last thing I should mention is the Oxford Intersections are available as a purchase. You can purchase it as we release content. It will be added to the intersection. You'll get that. Eventually, when we get to around 300 articles, it will become a static resource, so you'll own the whole resource. eventually we're going to have over 30 of these intersections coming down the way. Oxford Scholarship Online launched about 2 years, or I'm sorry, the Oxford Scholarship Online Archive launched about 2 years ago. These are about 7,500 titles, a little bit older. They've been published between 1990 and 2009. We originally made these only available in 5 large subject collections, or as a whole 7,500 title collection. So you can see in that blue box the 5 collections that were available. However, now we have made all of these available title by title. We also have created subject collections that correspond to Oxford Scholarship Online. So subjects like history or economics and finance, you can buy this older content in those discrete subject areas. We have EBA models available now for the first time as well for this content. So you can do an evidence-based acquisition, get access for an entire year, and then use the money at the end of the year to buy content. There are a few titles here that we just highlight for you so you can get a sense of the breadth of some of this content. And Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey featured in the Arts and Humanities. We've got a Richard Susskind book in the end called The End of Lawyers in the Law section. We have another Richard Susskind book coming up in a little bit here to tell you a little bit about as well too. Autism and the Asperger Syndrome, published in 2008, so it has that perspective from 2008. Social and Behavioral Sciences has The Color of Welfare, and Science and Mathematics has Insect Plant Biology. So a few other content highlights to tell you about. We're trying to make publishing available faster. For those of you who have gotten Oxford Scholarship Online in the past, sometimes the electronic is lagged behind the print. Usually we try to get it up between 4 and 6 weeks of print, but sometimes it would be in that 4 to 6 weeks, and people would buy it on Gobi or some other place before knowing that it would be available in Oxford Scholarship Online. Whereas now, over half of our books are available electronically ahead of the print. And by the end of this year, actually 95% of our titles that we put on Oxford Scholarship Online will be at least simultaneous with print or ahead. So that means if you're e-preferred, you can easily make this a way to get your content and not duplicate content in a print format. A few titles coming to Oxford Scholarship Online, brand new titles. They've gotten some praise recently. There's Apostles of Development. There's a book called The Dandy, which is a history of dandies and their sartorial choices. The Richard Susskind book that I was just mentioning, Richard Susskind in a previous slide, he writes a lot about technology, typically about technology and law, but this is a book that's really centered around AI, brand new, and Women in the Crusades will be in the history book. And last but not least for me, want to mention Combi, our most recent Pulitzer Prize winner. Won the Pulitzer Prize for History in 2025, also won the prestigious Gilder Lehrman Lincoln Prize for History. It details a now famous, but previously not so famous raid that Harriet Tubman was a key part of. The author here is a professor of history at Carnegie Mellon University. We're really proud of this work. We've had a number of Pulitzer Prize winners over the past few years, and this one has followed suit. So now I'll turn it over to David to talk about open access.
Great, thanks, Jeff. Hey, everybody, I'm going to talk a little bit starting about open access, and then I'm going to talk about what we're doing with AI currently. So starting with open access. Open access has been an important part of OUP publishing for the past 20 years. We published our first OA journal article in 2004, and then Nucleic Acids Research became our first fully open access journal the next year. In 2012, an open access option was introduced across OUP journals with hybrid publishing, and our first read and publish agreement was signed in 2016. We now publish over 2,800 open access articles per month and have over 140 fully open access journals. We also started publishing OA books in 2014 and have since published over 450 OA books. I'll talk about it more in a minute, but we began our Max Planck Encyclopedia of Public International Law, Subscribe to Open initiative in 2024, which allowed us to open up access this past spring. So we currently have over 70 read and publish agreements, which enable open access publishing for over 1,500 institutions globally. OUP's open access articles received 68% higher altmetric scores, 33% higher citation counts, and over 100% higher page views. Each of our read and publish agreements are carefully negotiated to ensure long-term sustainability for our journals, our society partners, and for researchers. And if you're interested in read and publish, since these are all kind of custom created and negotiated, please reach out to your rep to discuss what that might look for your institution. Now, moving on to the Max Planck Encyclopedia of Public International Law, I'm excited to say our Subscribe to Open initiative is a real success story. We'd like to thank all subscribers for your continued support of this resource, which has enabled it to become freely available to researchers who would not otherwise have access to this important resource. It's a one-year program, and we just ask that subscribers renew their subscriptions so we can continue to make this freely available globally and continue with it for multiple years. Now, the Max Planck Encyclopedia of Public International Law is the leading resource in the field, a comprehensive analytical resource containing peer-reviewed articles on every aspect of international law. International law provides a common legal framework for the whole world. By converting the encyclopedia to a subscribe to open model, we've made it possible for students, scholars, practitioners, and governments in low and middle income countries to access this content freely without financial barriers. The subscribe to open model allows us to achieve a wide dissemination of our content sustainably through continued customer subscriptions. This aligns with our mission to further excellence in research, scholarship, and education by publishing worldwide. And we've seen ample evidence of the importance of this decision in the use of statistics we've gathered. Usage of this resource has more than tripled globally since March. Every UN member state has accessed it, and usage in less developed territories has increased by 500%. So we've now reached 227 different states and territories that have been able to access this resource this year. So again, I just encourage everyone who does subscribe to continue your subscriptions. If you believe in this kind of initiative and want to make sure this can continue to succeed, if you don't already subscribe, please reach out and subscribe so we can continue this great success story. Now I'm going to move on to talk about current AI initiatives at OUP. We have 3 different AI tools which are freely available to subscribers, and each is designed to improve a researcher's ability to find information while protecting privacy and ensuring the content is accurate. The Oxford Academic AI Discovery Assistant helps with searching by allowing for more conversational queries than keyword searches allow, helping users find what they need more quickly. It spell checks and understands how terms change over time, so you can do things like search climate change and find results from older words, from older works, when it was more commonly called global warming. And in the Oxford Law Pro AI Research Assistant, it enables conversational queries, creating summaries based on the OUP content to which you subscribe in Oxford Law Pro. Each summary has links to the source content, as well as an index showing which sources were most used for the summary. You cannot upload information into the tool, and it does not remember sessions in order to protect your privacy. And the Oxford English Dictionary AI Search Assistant helps users quickly navigate the OUP. The OED is an amazing tool for understanding historical usage for the English language, but researchers typically need to take several steps to search for specific information. And the search assistant changes a 5-step process to understand the origin of a word into a simple conversational question and answer. So I'll just reiterate again. When we think about our AI tools, what we're really focusing on is making sure that the results you find are accurate and that your privacy is protected. So now I'm going to leave this slide up here so you can use the QR code to search for more information, and we'll open up the floor for any questions that you might have. What questions do y'all have? Yes.
I'm curious, do you have other S2O initiatives that are coming down the road?
We don't have any currently in the plans. I think.
Yeah, we tried to commit to open initiative. It went moderately well, but I don't know that there's a lot of appetite for that at the moment as far as fully open access books. But as far as subscribe to open, this one's been enormously successful, right? So I don't know what other plans we might have in the works.
Yeah, I think we need to be careful when selecting which products we want to turn into a subscribe to open initiative. With this one, it's such an established resource, it's a leading resource field, and so it made it something that would work. We really don't want to get into a situation where we're trying something and then we subscribe to open and then pulling it back from being open. We want to make sure that we're successful. Exactly.
And we worked in tandem with the Max Planck Society on this one too, and they were very invested in open access.
What else?
Anyway. We have, if you didn't get the QR codes, you can always come by our table. We have a number of bookmarks and things like that with QR codes on them where you can still get to the content that you might have missed if you want a little more information. Okay. No other questions. Thank you for attending, and we appreciate your attendance and your attention.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll stay up here for a few minutes.
Yeah.